Sena had always loved silence, not the kind that meant emptiness, but the kind that hummed softly, like a secret waiting to be told. She lived in a quiet village between two silver mountains, where the sky always looked as if dawn and night were touching hands. Every evening she sat by her window and watched the stars appear one by one. But one night the stars stopped coming. The first to notice was her grandfather, who tended the town's clock tower. "Strange," he muttered, "the sky feels lighter." By the third night, only a handful of stars remained. The villagers whispered that the heavens were losing their stories, that something or someone was stealing them. Sena couldn't sleep. The darkness felt wrong, hollow, incomplete. So when a faint shimmer appeared near her window, she followed it. The light led her through the woods until she came upon an ancient door standing alone among the trees. There were no walls around it, just a frame carved with symbols that seemed to move when she blinked. The air around it hummed like the sea inside a shell. She pushed the door open. Beyond it was not forest, but sky. A vast, endless room filled with floating pages, shelves made of light, and constellations trapped inside glass orbs. The stars that had vanished were here, glowing softly among the rows of shelves. It was a library of the heavens. A tall woman appeared from between the aisles, her cloak rippling like midnight silk. Her eyes were gentle but deep, filled with storms. "You shouldn't be here," she said quietly. "Mortals aren't meant to walk between written and unwritten skies." Sena stammered. "The stars, they're disappearing." The woman studied her. "Yes, the stories they belong to are being forgotten. Each star is a story once dreamed by a heart that believed in wonder. But humans have stopped dreaming. The shelves are emptying." Sena looked around. So many lights fading, so many orbs darkening. She felt a weight in her chest. "Can I help?" The woman hesitated. "You are only one child." "Then I'll start with one story," Sena said softly. The woman smiled for the first time. "Very well. But know this, to return a star you must remember it. You must feel the story again as it once was." She handed Sena a blank page. It pulsed faintly in her hand. "Alive." "Right. And the sky will listen." So Sena began. She closed her eyes and thought of the first story she had ever been told, the one about the fox who wanted to touch the moon. She whispered the words, tracing them into the air. The blank page glowed brighter and brighter, then burst into a trail of light that soared upward, and outside, in the real sky, a single star returned. The woman bowed her head. "It works." Sena wrote another, and another. The fox found a friend. The moon sang. The world glimmered. Each story she remembered lit another star. The ceiling above the library began to fill again with constellations reborn, but something stirred deep in the shelves, a shadow that fed on forgotten tales. The air grew colder. The woman's cloak fluttered. "The ink eater," she whispered. "It devours what no one remembers." Before Sena could move, the shadow lunged. It wasn't an animal or a shape. It was absence, swallowing light as it came. The shelves it touched turned to dust, and stars inside their glass prisons flickered out. Sena clutched her page, heart racing. The creature stopped, its hollow eyes staring into her. She felt it searched her memories, hungry for the stories inside her. She took a trembling breath. "You can't have them," she whispered. "They're mine." She tore open the page she had written and pressed it against her chest. Light poured from her skin, from her eyes, from her heart, and from within that light came thousands of whispers, the voices of every tale ever told. The ink-eater shrieked, crumbling into fragments of dust and fading into nothing. When the silence settled, the library glowed brighter than ever. The woman knelt beside her. "You've done what even the keepers could not," she said softly. "You remembered." Sena looked up. The shelves no longer felt endless. They felt alive. Every glowing page sang faintly like stars breathing in unison. The woman placed a hand on her shoulder. "You cannot stay. Stories must return to where they began," and before Sena could speak, the floor beneath her dissolved into light. She woke up in her bed, morning sunlight pouring through her window. For a moment she wondered if it had been a dream until she looked up. The sky was full again. Stars still shimmered faintly, even in daylight, and when she closed her eyes, she could hear them, faint, happy, whispering thanks. That night, when the village slept, Sena opened her notebook and began to write, not to remember what was lost, but to make sure nothing would ever be forgotten again.